Hola familia. I am your host, Adrian Rodriguez. Welcome to the third episode of HBSA Alumni Spotlight. Now, further ado, I want to introduce my guest, Yelesina Hernández.
Hey everybody.
Hey Yelesina, how you doing so far? Doing well?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I can't complain. Life's been busy, but it was worth it.
Now, Yelesina, right off the bat, well, that's the first question. Where are you now?
So I am currently a forensic accountant at a small firm close to my house. The drive is like 10-15 minutes away, so it's not bad. And I am currently in the process of moving to another state and finding opportunities there in order to go to the next phase of my life.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Is there any specific place that you want to go somewhere?
Well, I kind of want to move into the DC area, so that would be very interesting to do. Um, right now, the market is not looking kind of good for jobs, but it's starting to spike. So there's always hope.
Definitely. That's awesome. So, seeing the next question, what were the challenges and obstacles that you went through your time at college? Also, what are the three attributes that help you through your college journey?
Oh, there were so many challenges. It was crazy. I remember going to CBB and studying with my friends, like pulling all-nighters, crying because we were just so tired, and then crying again because we passed the test. So it was very hard. For me, in particular, I feel like I'm not good. Like I'm not great at anything I do. I just try really hard. And I feel like with my academics, that was the case often. But because of the perseverance I showed, um, the professors noticed. I remember I was taking frameworks and I was just trying very hard to just understand the material, but it was so hard for me. And I would go to Harris's courses and I would go to one in the morning, one in the afternoon, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit on one to actually listen to what she has to say and take notes, and then the other one I'm gonna like participate and like be more hands-on. And she noticed me, like she remembered my face. She like started to like, oh, she's trying, and she knew I sucked at it. Like I've never been like a great accounting student, but she noticed that, and it's the perseverance, the hey, don't give up. There are so many things that you can do to, and just don't give up. And I feel like the second thing that helped me a lot was ganas. So I guess in English you would call it grit, but las ganas of just remembering where I've been, remembering how my father used to be a construction worker and he had to just like build houses and paint them without any safety or any like safety on himself, and do it in like the Houston heat in the summer. And how I remember being young and having to help clean houses because we were low income people, and we were in that aspect of our lives. And ganas was so like, I know I can do better because my parents sacrificed a lot for me to get somewhere, for me to do, like as a parent, you always want your kids to do better than you. It's not that you don't want them to realize that their work is not great, because it is. It's like these jobs are tough jobs that no one really wants to do, and they do it. But at the same time, it's like you want to make them proud by accomplishing more. And so the ganas really pushed me through that, because I want to be able to take care of my father so that he doesn't have to worry about anything. And like the last thing that helped me a lot through college, through like crying and like feeling like I was going to like quit, was the familia aspect. I found a familia in HBSA, I found a lot of people that were like-minded, that just the amount of people in HBSA that you find is astounding. They're so kind-hearted, they're inspiring, they're just like, you listen to their stories and you're like, wow, like this person is just astounding. And I need to make sure that I make that person proud, because they're working their butts off too, and I need to do that. And so that sense of familia, when you find friends that are understand your situation and have been through your shoes, really help. So those three aspects, perseverance, ganas, and familia, really helped me.
Definitely, I agree with that. Especially like having ganas, never giving up, persevere. Yeah, I especially agree with you. And especially looking back my college journey so far. Yeah, there's sometimes I want to quit and give up, but I never did. And you have the reasons why. I totally agree with you on that part. So, next question. You've been at U of H for a certain amount of years, and there are a lot of ups and downs, but there are some important lessons along the way. So, what were the lessons you learned from your time at U of H?
I learned so much. I feel like when I came in to UH, I was a whole different person than I am now. And I say that because coming in, and I've told this story to a lot of HBSA people, is that I stopped judging others on my own perception of them, and I started judging them on who they are as people by who they show me they are. So I know that sounds confusing, but let me tell you, like, I know there's a lot of new members that might probably not know, but I joined HBSA in 2018, and I joined it because I didn't know how classes started. So it was my first semester there. I was working for the university at that time, and they gave me time to go to one class, only one class in person. And so I went to this course. It was the introductory MIS class. And I was waiting outside, and I'm like, I don't know when my class starts. It says 10, but I don't know if I should wait. Should I go in? Like, I don't know how it works. Like, this is my first time going in person to a classroom. And Leo Castellan, who was the corporate at that time, he just kind of approached me because the HBSA table wasn't in front of the classroom. And he's like, hey, have you heard of HBSA? Let me tell you. And I'm all like, and I'm just like, I just want to go to class, but I don't know when I should go to class. And so he told me about HBSA, and I'm like, okay, yeah, you leave me alone. Okay, fine, I'll sign up. And then I went to class, and I realized, girl, you're 30 minutes late to class. Like, you were waiting there outside 30 minutes, and you didn't even realize it. And I got out of class, and I was thinking, this is so ridiculous. Like, these are clearly party orgs. They don't care about their academics. They're just a bunch of kids that don't care about themselves, and they're way too focused on partying and hanging out with each other. And it's so frustrating. It's so dumb, but I need to put something in my resume, so might as well. And I was so wrong. When I tell you I was wrong, I cannot just explain how wrong I was. I became a member, and I realized really quick, especially with the MPOs, how hard working people in HBSA are. And I judged them from my own perception. I didn't give them a chance to, hey, let me show you who you are as a person and who you represent and what your story is. And HBSA and UH overall really taught me that there's so much more to a story. There's so much more to a person than what you see or what you want to believe of them. And I learned that, yes, we know how to have fun. HBSA knows how to have fun. They do. But they also know how to, work hard to help each other out. They know how to, just like support each other. They know how to make those networking connections. They know how to get those interviews, how to get those scholarships, those full-time jobs, those huge scholarships. And I don't think I have met a group of so huge of hardworking individuals like I have in HBSA. So I think that when it comes to my experience, the biggest lesson I learned, it came from UH, but I would like to thank HBSA for teaching me to not be such a jerk.
That's great, especially about HBSA. That's all great about the organization. Next question: how was the transition from college to the real world?
Oh my God. Well, it was really hard landing a job because, COVID. It was kind of difficult, and I kind of got tired of looking. So my resume got blasted to this company, and it's a company that I'm working for right now. And they gave me the opportunity to work there, but I feel like a lot of the times we focus a lot on that 4.0. And granted, I've never been a 4.0 licensed. I can't even bother on that. But it's like when people tell you everything you learn in college doesn't matter, in a certain aspect, in a certain way, they're right. Because I have found myself in a very tough situation where I'm like, I should know this, but I don't. I forgot. And when I first started, I was like, should I ask questions? Should I voice my concerns? Should I tell them that I don't know? Because if I tell them I don't know, then they'll think I'm dumb, and then they'll be like, why did we hire her? And I don't want them to feel that way because I want to keep my job. And so you're running through all this freaking jungle gym in your head because you're so concerned. And the thing is that you're not going to know anything. No matter how much you're studying, no matter how much you put into school, no matter if you're a 4.0, you're not going to know what's going on. Because the truth of the matter is that every single company does things different. Like last week, I was looking at a trial balance and I'm like, what in the sweet heaven is this? Like, this doesn't look like a trial balance. And it's because every single company does things differently, and you need to learn how each company does it so that you understand what you're doing. You're not going to come out of college knowing everything. No, you're going to come out of college, going to your first job and be like, what have I gotten myself into? I don't know anything. And I feel like a lot of the time we are just kind of scared to express our concerns or really ask our boss, like, hey, or ask a coworker, it's like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you explain this to me? Or like, hey, I don't understand this. Can you tell me more about it? And I decided to, hey, I rather look like I don't know what I'm doing, but ask, because if I ask now, it's better for me because they know that you're new. You're utilizing that sense of, hey, I'm new here and I don't know anything. But if you wait until like the year that you're in there, they'll just be like, then what have you been doing all this time that you were at work? Because those are questions you should have asked when you first got here. So you should utilize that newbie card and ask all the questions that you can, because you don't want to be like a deer in headlights your entire career. And so the transition for me from college to work has been, I need to learn new things and I need to ask those questions and I need to stop overthinking and just do what I have to do. And if that's looking like a fool for right now, but knowing what I'm doing later in the future, then I'm okay with that.
Definitely about asking a lot of questions, like nonstop.
Well, I wouldn't say nonstop, but I would say make a list of things that you're wondering about, what the current task that you're doing, and actually go to the person that is give you the task or that is leading you to ask those questions, because you don't want to ask a question and then go to your desk and be like, oh, I need to ask another question, and then go back, and then, because that is inefficient for you, and that's a inconvenience to the person that you're asking, to just constantly be like every 5 minutes instead of being like, hey, this is what I need.
That's awesome. Your next questions. Have you ever had a mentor throughout your college career and professional career? And what role did they play in, well, actually, what they play in you and growing as a person and in your career?
Hold on 1 second. There is a little animal going around here making a ton of noise that I need to show you. This is a little animal is making a ton of noise. His name is Midnight. He is a Polish rabbit. I adopted him from a shelter. And although he's really cute, he's very loud and he loves treats. And he's sometimes a bad boy. So let me put him up so he stops making noise. Okay, I'm back. So a mentor. I feel like a lot of people have mentors where it's like this one person that you talk to like every week or that you talk to like every other day. And I feel like for me, I haven't have someone like that is like I can just like talk to you today and then day after and be like, hey, let's hang out. But I feel like I've had a lot of I like to call them amazing people because they're not mentors, they're not guides, they're just more. They're very special. And I've had so many throughout my career, my student years and and even now. My first person that I really looked up to was Jamie Boleyn. She is just an astounding woman. And she's just, when I first had that Gem B class with her, I was like, wow, I, I need, like, this woman is amazing. She is fantastic and I need to learn from her. I need to just like absorb her knowledge. And I got very close to her. I spoke to her about like, life and my concerns in school and, just like being a first generation and how scared I was to fail. Just pour my heart out to her. And that was so helpful because I feel like a lot of the times we guard ourselves in our own selves, like we put this little shell and we don't let our own vulnerability just be out whenever we talk to someone that we're close to, like especially if it's a mentor. You're kind of concerned as like, oh, is this something that I should talk to with this person? But if you're comfortable and that's how the relationship is led, then I think that you should, because a lot of the times mentors are not only there to help you with your career, but they're also there to guide you with other things that they have experience in. So Jamie was something powerful for me. And throughout college, I've had a lot of people that like John Garcia. That man is just wow. He is inspiring. He's great, and his family just is. His family is just like a group of happiness, and have spoken to him and he's the type of person that is like, if you need something, just let me know and we'll get on a call or whatever. Like I'm here to help you out. And so having those type of people that you need to be around is just it's just really fascinating. And I've had other people. I had a ton of people that really shaped my career, and a lot of the times they don't have to be professionals, honestly. I know Andrea Mendoza. She's like my best friend, and I met her in HBSA, and it seems weird to have someone like your fellow classmate be your mentor, but that can happen too, because you can learn from a lot of individuals. And granted, she's younger than me, but I think that's something that I also learned with HBSA is that it doesn't matter how old or how young you are, you can learn from a lot of people if you just take your false perceptions of people away. And so, in a way, not only has she been my best friend, but she has also been one of my biggest mentors too in college and life. And And then you have people, that go along the way, like Catherine Manyoma, that has that inspirational story, and then Catherine Gillow, that I met through my other student organization, and she has been a strong pillar into what I am now, a forensic accountant. So you want your mentors to be people that not only help you with your college, with oh my gosh, this is so hard, can you help me, or like, hey, I don't know where to go, what do you think? You also want people that is like, okay, this is how I think I want my future to be, can you help me determine the way to get there? So yeah, I've had quite a lot of great people that have helped me, and I think that everybody should really find somebody that does that for them, that helps them out. But just remember that mentorships and friendships, they're not only one way. So invite them to coffee every once in a while. They know you're a broke college student, but you can afford some coffee, okay? You can afford coffee. Take them out for a cup of coffee to show them your gratitude. And I don't know, send a postcard or send them a nice email. I know with my graduation, I sent them a thank you graduation email with my photo, and I was like, thank you for supporting me throughout these years. I feel like thanks to you, I was able to graduate, and I just want to let you know that your leadership and your existence helps so many people like me carry on and do this. And so just something so simple like that makes somebody understand that they're an impact in other people's lives.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear. Now, next question. Now you mentioned about your career. So this question is, what helped you realize to pursue the career you are in now? And when did you realize it?
Oh, that's a great story. So it was 2018. It was the regional symposium at San Antonio. And I will always remember that symposium. We were just with HBSA. We got in those white vans, and then we were snacking on the road. I made tortas for the drivers. I was like, y'all better get fed because we're gonna go there and get those jobs. And we were so excited. We stayed at that hotel where the symposium was being held, and like they have like your usual thing where they have workshops, and then they have like the career fair. And I wasn't sure what to do because it was very early in my career, and I was like, do I really want to be an accountant? Like, is that what I want my life to go? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, the CPA has never been something that I've been like, oh my gosh, I need it. No, no. And so I was trying to figure it out, like, hey, where do I go? And I saw this workshop by a federal agency. And this federal agency was, they were just going to talk about business and how business, especially in their group, it's so important. And I was like, hey, like I've seen a lot of companies, but I've never seen a federal agency. So, let's go. And I sat down there. They're like, turn off your phones, turn off, like, no cameras, no pictures. And I'm like, okay. And so I sat there, and I had heard about forensic accounting before, and I was like, that's interesting. And so he was like, hey, why do you think that it's important for us to hire business students? Like, why? Like, why do we want you in our agency? And some people are like, well, you need people that do, like MIS majors. And people are like, well, you need HR people. And then I was like, you need forensic accountants. And then he saw like, yes, we need people that, do MIS. We need people that, help us hire. And we need people that can help us trace the money. Because at the end of the day, there are times where we can't find someone. We need to find a person of interest, but we can't find them. But we can always find their money, their sources of income. How are they, making money, and how are they transporting that? And then he was just talking and talking, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I thought that I just had to go to Big Four, but this is It's like, imagine it just being like a dorky accountant, but you're trying to find the bad guy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want this. Like, I need this in my life. And so I started to just like get that moment, that aha moment when I was sitting there and listening to this person talk about um, career opportunities in their agency. And I was just like, I need that. Like this is what I want. This is it. And it was that regional symposium that really just put that desire to learn more. And I just started to figure out more about the career. I co-founded a student organization based around that, and I became its president. I started to get more involved with the Houston Professional Chapter. I won a scholarship with them, and I mean, all of that just because I went to a regional symposium with HBSA and I found something that I really wanted to do. And right now I'm being a forensic accountant. Um, just learning a lot from my current role right now. And I think it has helped me really develop into the person that I really want, because I personally don't see myself being in Big Four. I had an internship with a Big Four and it was great. It was a great learning experience, but I don't think that's for me. And that's okay if it's not for you. Just try to find something that really inspires you. And I think I found something by going to that symposium.
That's awesome. It's great to hear. Next question. We always give advice to people, regardless of like friends, family members, coworkers, or anything like that. But the question is, if you give yourself any piece of advice to yourself, what would it be?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say build as many memories as you can. I know it sounds like, in my perspective, it doesn't sound bad, but when I tell people about this, they're like, but you never know when you're gonna die. My grandfather, he died in his sleep. He never woke up. Um, you can wake up and something could happen. Your house can collapse, your house can go on fire. You get out of the door, and then there's like a million possibilities of how you could die. Something could fall on your head, and then you're gone. Someone can run you over. You can have a car crash. There's so many ways that you could die. It's not to make it grim, it's just so you realize that how fragile life is. Life is so limited, is so small, that when you start realizing, hey, like, there are so many things that I could do, just do it. I'm not telling you get into trouble. I'm not telling you go to jail. No, build memories that you want your children to hear. You want somebody to hear you tell them. Memories that you're going to take, because at the end of the day, yes, you're getting that college education. Yes, you're getting the scholarships. And yes, you're getting that bag. You're chasing that bag and you got that bag. You grab that bag and you're good. You're spending money on things that you want to do. You're helping your family out. You're like helping each other out. You're making like a foundation, a scholarship. But that's not what you're going to take to the grave. You're not going to take your like $200,000 car to the grave. You're not going to take your $1 million house to the grave. You're not going to take those, like expensive shoes, that expensive purse. You're not going to take that with you. What you're going to take is like those times when you were tailgating with HBSA, those moments at rooftop, those moments at CBB when you were sleeping for 10 minutes and then studying for the rest of the night because you had an exam like 3 days later and you wanted to do the best of it. It's, like going to football games, going to basketball games, going to, like a restaurant with your friends, doing those type of things. And I know it's kind of impossible right now because, we're living in a very tough situation where, we're having a world pandemic and it's not easy to be able to meet with people like we used to. But there are so many other ways to make memories. Playing it safer, wearing your face mask, getting vaccinated. Like hey, let's go get vaccinated together. Like I don't know, like make something out of the bad stuff, because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna take you further. Like all those memories are gonna be like, I lived. I lived, I had my best life and I'm still doing it now. But these are stories I'm gonna tell my children and they're gonna be like, Mom, I did not know you were that crazy. And you were like, oh, yes, I was. Like have something. Like who do you want to be in the future? Do you want to be like the person, the party animal that is telling your kids, y'all don't know how to party? Then be that person, Of course, be safe and make smart decisions, but be that person. Or do you want to be like, I want to be inspirational? Like every single time I talk to a young person, I want to have them be like, wow. Then be that person. Get those experiences that be like, that's what's going to inspire someone else. And like I said, it's not to be grim, but it's the truth of the reality that you don't have to be old to die. You can be really young and die tomorrow. So what are you going to do today to make today worth it, to make yesterday worth it, to make all the years that you have lived worth it? And I think that's just like one of the things that I would tell my younger self is like, live more, enjoy more, because you're not going to be this young and your mind, your liver, and your capabilities are not going to be as top notch as when you were 20. And I'm starting to feel it now. I'm 30 now and I'm like, wow, like the difference between 30 and 20, astronomical. So, like enjoy life, be safe, play it safe, be smart, but enjoy life.
That's awesome. That's man, great. I had some excellent advice about life is fragile and you gotta take it day by day and just live life to your fullest and have no regrets. Yeah, that's a great advice. Now we mentioned HBSA. I've seen it. What was your involvement with HBSA?
So, like everybody else, I started out as a member in 2018, and then I became the corporate intern. That was a lot of fun. Then I became the alumni intern, and then on fall 2020, I became the alumni relations officer. Well, director in fall 2020. And then I graduated. So that has been a pretty expansive history with HBSA. So I'm looking forward to possibly in the future interacting more with the organization in a different aspect. And I hope that I can be of some sort of use to just like future members and officers that come around.
That's great. Now, this next question is difficult. What was your favorite HBSA memory? I know it's really hard for me as well. I have a lot of great HBSA memories, but we got to pick like one that's the most.
You have no idea how many good memories, like especially with man, that so it's hard. Oh my gosh. I think it was, I want to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say it was summer 2018. We went to Vegas, and we went to Vegas for the national convention. And I had won a scholarship with EY, and I was going to have that scholarship luncheon, and they're going to present me, and they took pictures of me. And honestly, I think that was like my favorite moment because I had applied for so many scholarships. Like, I'm not even kidding when I tell you I applied for over 50 scholarships and I didn't get any of them, any of them. And I was like, what's the point? Like, I'm done. I'm done. I quit school. Like, I'm done. Like, I can't pay it. Like, no, nah. And then somebody told me, no, you should apply for the Alpha Scholarship. You should do it. And I'm like, I already applied for 50 scholarships. They've told me no. You think I'm going to get this one? Like, are you like, really? And they're like, just do it. Just do it. Like, what's another no? And when they said that, I was like, I mean, like, you're not wrong. Like, they told me no 50 times. What's another no? Like, I've already been okay with 50. What's 51? And I did it. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's do it. And so I did. And then I got this, there was an event on the weekend. I don't know, we were doing some community service, I think. And I was in the visitors parking lot, and I was going to walking to Melcher Hall, and I look at my phone, and they're like, congratulations, you got the scholarship. And I'm like, and I'm like, no, like, you got the wrong person. You don't understand. I got denied 50 times. You were supposed to deny me for the 51st time. You got the wrong person. And so, because of that, I was able to go to National Symposium in Vegas, and that was just a brilliant experience. It was just alpha, like, full force, with its fantastic workshops, but 10 times bigger. And then, just like the luncheons, the dinners, the outings with the companies if they invited you, the a bit of the nightlife. It was great. It was a fantastic experience. Just finally getting somebody to tell you, yes, we're going to give you the scholarship to help you with your tuition, and then having to party with your friends, having you hang out in a different state, just like enjoying and making memories, doing all those things together. So I really, 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 really enjoyed National Convention. Like, best memories ever came from there.
That's great. That's awesome here. Convention is awesome. Last question. What is your message to the members?
Ooh, there's so much. There's so much. I would start out by saying, university is really important. Higher education is very important. There is such a difference in pay when you have a good degree than if you don't. And your job options are huge. And it's important. It's important. It's important to just go to university and do that and ensure that your own future and the people that you love's future is secure, and that you are possibly the first person that changes that cycle of nobody going to college, and maybe you're that person. But you also have to understand that you're not going to know anything after you get out of college. At the end of the day, university is a 4-year commitment that your employer is going to look at to see if you actually were able to commit to. What does that mean? Well, are you able to stay and do one thing for a long time? Does that sound familiar? It does, because you will be in a job. And when you're in a job, they have to make sure that you're going to stay there for a long time. Are you going to be able to commit to the company and stay here for a while and, learn from us so that we can help you get a higher position? So they want to know that. They also want to know that you're not a full-on 4.0 student. Yes, 4.0s are great. They're fantastic. They're like your ultimate hype, getting that 4.0. But you're not going to get a job solely from getting a 4.0. I know somebody that 4.0 student all the way, every semester, 4.0, 4.0. How did this person do it? No idea. I don't understand. Even up to now, no idea how they did it. But they were just good at school. It was easy for them. And they didn't do anything else outside of academics. It was just school, 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 school. And 4.0, they double majored, got a 4.0 in both, and they couldn't find a job. They couldn't. And why? Because your employer, this is one thing that I learned. Someone told me when I was interning. We can teach what we do. We can teach anybody what we do. We can teach you how it works, how it's done, how we want it, how it's supposed to look. But we can't teach someone to be a team player. We can't teach someone to have integrity. We can't teach someone to have perseverance. We can't teach someone professionalism. We can't teach someone that. So when we are looking at a resume, we're not looking at your 4.0. That's a cherry on the top. But what we're looking at is if you're a well-rounded individual that is able to be a good addition, not only to the company, but to the team. Because no one wants to work with a 4.0 person that is full of themselves, that thinks that they're the best just because they got a 4.0 in college. Because we don't care. And that's what they told me. That's what this person told me. And I was like, wow, that's harsh, but that's so true. That's very true. And so what you want to do is, yes, get those 4.0s, get those grades. But if you are not a 4.0 student, don't stress out. It's not worth it. It's not worth putting yourself down and just creating yourself this barrier of negativity around yourself just because you compare yourself to your friends, because you compare yourself to somebody in class that is like, oh, it's so easy for them and I'm here studying all night and I still don't get it. Don't worry about it. The way that you can do better is by making sure that you look like a well-rounded individual by joining organizations. Student organizations like HBSA that are there to ensure that you learn more other than academics are so important. I am not a 4.0 student. I never really did great in my accounting courses. I feel like my professors were like, just pass her. Oh my gosh, just pass her because I don't want to have her next semester. So I did everything I could. I joined HBSA. I was, like super involved, and that helped me. And that's going to help you too if your grades don't look that great, because that shows initiative, that shows leadership, and leadership is a quality that you can't teach. You have to become that person by getting out of your shell, and so that's super important. Like I said, just don't stress out too much. And I feel like I have so many things to give out, but like the final thing that I will say is that when you're building your resume, don't be afraid to say, I know that Bauer has this thing where it's like, founded my education or something like that, like founded like 75% of my education through work. I don't know, like I know Bauer has something like that. Do it, put it in there. And when they ask you, be like, well, I was a waiter. Well, I was washing dishes. Don't be afraid of where you've been. Never be afraid of what you had to do to get to where you are. You were a waitress. There are so many skills as a waitress that you can put in your resume. There's a huge impact when the employer looks at your resume and they see that you are paying for your college, whether it's through work or whether it's through scholarships. It's so powerful to see that. So don't be afraid of who you are and where you're doing currently to get where you want to be in the future. So just never be ashamed of the person that you currently are, because you're trying to make your version currently a better version in the future. So like I said, there's a lot of things that I would talk about, but for now I think those are like my main pointers. And I mean, I'm a pretty available person when it comes to like messages, so if anybody like really wants to talk, they can always just reach out to me. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people already know me, so they can just talk.
That's awesome, Sina. Great advice, great message to the members, and everything you said. That's all familiar. Sina, thank you so much for being a guest for the third episode of HBSA Alumni Spotlight. I want to say thank you so much.
No, and thank you for making this possible. Thank you for keeping the ball rolling, and thank you for everybody that was here to just listen to me talk for a while.
All right. That's all familiar. There'll be more episodes to come by. So stay tuned. Bye.